Welcome to AgSafeBC's Lunch and Learn Healthy Habits. Our speaker today is Sophia, who is a registered clinical counselor and experienced disaster responder who specializes in delivering wellness programs to individuals impacted by major events. This webinar is being recorded and will be shared on AgSafeBC's YouTube channel. However, all questions have the option of being asked anonymously. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you very much, Rachel. I'm very happy to be here. And welcome to those of you who are present today or watching this at a later date. I want to say I'm very happy to be part of the team that AgSafe has put together and is actively creating and pursuing and sponsoring resources to help support your health and mental wellness at this time in the face of dealing with very challenging conditions and circumstances in the agriculture sector. It is in recognition of the importance of foundational mental health and creating protective mechanisms that these series of free wellness webinars have been supported and created by different mental health practitioners. And I'm pleased to be part of this first session. I am joining you today from the unceded territory of Snuneymuxw First Nations on Vancouver Island, and I am very fortunate to live and work in this area. As Rachel said in my introduction, I am an individual who specializes in working with first responders and individuals in emergency management throughout BC and Alberta. And I have served myself for 10 years in a disaster response way, supporting mental health of those frontline workers and emergency responders. The goal of this group is to support connection between yourselves, your peers, and your colleagues at a time when connection is difficult to achieve. So this is one platform, one way of providing an opportunity for you to be present in the same space, to learn some information that may be helpful and possibly some tools you can take away to put into practice in your own life to support your mental wellness and your family's well-being at this time. This is a platform also for sharing ideas and suggestions for positive mental health. And I encourage you, if you're so inclined, to participate through the chat box, to raise your hand, to ask questions. At the end of my presentation, there'll be an opportunity for comments and Q&A. And if you are so inclined to participate in that manner, I invite you to. I can also be reached through my own email if any individuals are seeking one-to-one counseling services, which are also sponsored by AgSafe, or if you just wish to have a conversation or ask some question about mental health resources. So I invite you to do so. This session, there are some ground rules for this session. This is a confidential session, so everything is confidential in this session. Meeting people where they are at, showing a positive, supportive attitude and an absence of judgment is very important. Holding space, knowing that everyone is equal within the group and has the equal opportunity to participate is also very important. I appreciate that everyone is here from a different place and a different perspective and for different reasons. And we're doing our best to present topics that may be of value and use to each of you, wherever you may be and whatever situation you may be dealing with. The topic for this first session is healthy habits. And it may seem a bit strange to choose such a topic given the aftermath of the devastating events experienced in 2021. However, it is precisely because of these events and the overwhelming impacts on your work, life, business, and families that there is a need to cultivate healthy habits wherever you can and however you can to protect your mental and physical health moving forward. Of course, it is natural to feel high levels of stress, anxiety, uncertainty, and worry following any major event that disrupts your life. Not only have your usual ways of working been disturbed, your normal rhythms of family and life outside of work have been completely upended. And in addition, there's the experience of loss and grief, financial repercussions and hardship. And not only in your own life and world, but your neighbors and colleagues and friends and partners and your communities have been impacted. We all search for ways to cope in the aftermath of a crisis event. And it is precisely because we are so resilient as individuals and as teams and communities that we can overcome these events and rebuild and move forward in our lives. Taking care of our emotional health as a minimum will help you think clearly and help you react to the urgent needs to protect yourself and your family and your property and move towards and progress through the process of recovery. What I'm really talking about in using the term healthy habits is self-care, which during an emergency can seem difficult, if not impossibly out of reach for many of us. However, these habits can be reflected in small, healthy, positive, daily choices, which help protect our mental health and preserve and support our physical health, which in turn will be foundational in helping us move forward towards longer term healing. Creating healthy habits during a time of response and the aftermath of an event. How can it be done and what does it look like? This will be different for everyone. Your energy levels will differ from person to person. Your capacity for change will differ from person to person. The level of devastation and loss and impact will be different for each person. The support systems that each person and family have will differ, and there is no right answer about how to move forward, except to make your own individual choices in terms of what you can do. So I have some suggestions in terms of how to create healthy habits, given that you are dealing with the aftermath of a very serious event. And many of these suggestions are things that I have gleaned with working with emergency responders and emergency management folks over many years. One of the first suggestions is to take ownership of your time. And when an individual is overwhelmed and overworked, one of the first ways it shows up is a difficulty balancing work and life, and that can show up through time management. Issues with time management. Recovery work, as we know, is often all-consuming. It takes most of our time and effort and intellectual space dealing with the practical aspects of recovery, and it can be emotionally daunting and straining. It's important to create scheduled space in your day and in your week, and to build time for family, friends, and small activities outside of the burden of your responsibilities, to give your mind, your body, and your spirit a break from the challenges of recovery. So scheduling time in to do that, even if it is just a few minutes each day, something that will be different and positive, that can be other than the difficult work of recovery. The second thing is taking charge of your time to regenerate and rejuvenate your energy. Recovering from a major event can be all-consuming and can claim all of your energy, time, and dominate your thoughts. However, the recovery effort will go on for a long period of time, so you need to find ways to decompress mentally and relax your body in small amounts so you can sustain your energy over the long period of time that will be recovered to fully recover from the event. Your nervous system needs downtime. Your nervous system regulates your chemical actions in your body and many of your emotions, and it needs particular quiet downtime space to regulate and to find a momentum. Your body needs rest and your mind needs to turn at some point to thoughts other than the practical aspects of dealing with the response. My third suggestion for creating healthy habits is to control and or eliminate the negative narrative that is going on to the greatest degree you're able to. This is not an easy thing to do when you're dealing with an emergency and you're dealing with a situation involving devastation. You have no doubt been exposed to a tremendous amount of negativity over the last few months, and you may have experienced directly or indirectly loss and negativity personally. Loss of livestock, physical devastation to buildings and land, and your plans and hopes for the future. These are things that have happened and cannot be undone, but we can move forward. And moving forward means we have the ability to some degree to control what we are exposed to and the energy that is around us. And we can choose whether to surround ourselves with energy that lifts us up and influences that lift us up, or things that further weigh us down. And what I mean by making choices about negative versus positive, for an example, is we can make choices about negative influences, such as certain individuals, social media, news media coverage, and perhaps even other influences that we find make things harder for us to manage in the situation. It's important to seek out individuals, activities, and influencers that positively support your recovery process and enhance your life, your business, and your career. And I do encourage many people. I watch very little media myself, and I counsel many people who are affected by experiencing anxiety and depression through large amounts of media consumption. So I really feel like that's an important place where we as individuals can control what we are exposed to and really place limits on media coverage, our exposure to it. The fourth suggestion for creating healthy habits is conducting yourself with positive intent. Seek out and determine the positive intent in the activities and interactions you are planning or challenged with. Let that be your measuring stick for deciding what is important for you to commit to and what you can drop or avoid. And in these situations, there are often some responsibilities that can be left until later, or delegated to others, or shared with others. This includes the coping mechanisms and habits that you cultivate. Ask yourself, in terms of the coping mechanisms you currently have helping you through this situation, are they positive and do they lift me up? Or are they negative and causing me harm or being damaging to my health? Let that be the yardstick you use for deciding the habits that you pursue, whether in your thoughts, the physical habits, every aspect of your life. The fifth point may be redundant or perhaps even irrelevant, but the point is about moving your body. You may be moving already throughout the course of your day. Your job may be very physical and you may have many aspects to it. And if that is the case, then that's fantastic. If you are not moving very often, then moving in a different way, perhaps stretching, walking, yoga, anything form of exercise that helps you move. Again, this is something that will help regulate your nervous system, will help you deal with difficult emotions such as anxiety and stress, and will help return you to a balanced state. And my final suggestion for creating healthy habits, and I'm sure this will be no surprise to anyone, will be the importance of sleep, hydration, and nutrition. Sleep, primarily, in my experience working with emergency management, is often severely impacted by the stress of working in a response situation. Sleep is essential to our health and well-being. Being overwhelmed, being physically exhausted but not able to sleep, having disrupted sleep, are all things that need to be addressed to maintain not only your function of your brain and good decision making, but also to allow you energetically to move throughout your day. I encourage you to form healthy sleep habits, and there's a tremendous amount of information online about sleep hygiene and the things that contribute to positive sleep habits and the things that make our sleep more difficult. So sleep is paramount to your body for you to function and for you to move through your day, and also to deal with the feelings of stress and frustration and difficulty that you have no doubt experienced in the last few months. Hydration, drinking water, is very important. It's essential to our well-being and to our body's capacity to function. And nutrition, as hard as it may be, as in the cases where you can make positive choices and positive foods, things that will nourish you, things that will make you feel better, things that will make you feel good about your food choices, and the fact that you have healthy options or access to healthy options, very important to support yourself with good food choices. At this point, that's all I have to present in this situation, this experience on healthy habits. So I would like to open it up in case anyone has any questions or comments, and if you would like to do that through the chat space, or if you would like to raise your hand, and perhaps comment on how do healthy habits show up in your life. That may be one comment you wish to share with folks. Or in what ways are you challenged in terms of trying to create new healthy habits, and what are the barriers that you are facing? I'll leave the space open for a few minutes to see if anyone has comments or ideas or questions they would like to share. Thank you for sharing the Well-Being UBC Thrive. That's excellent, an excellent resource. So the questions, if anyone would like to comment on them: how do healthy habits show up in your life? In what ways are you challenged to improve your habits? And what are the barriers, if any, that you're experiencing in creating healthy habits? While we have a few minutes, I just also want to say that AgSafe has been incredibly proactive in terms of their support for mental health and wellness resources. And there are a slate of counselors that are available through the AgSafe website to provide one-to-one counseling services for free to those who are in the agriculture sector. And I encourage you to access those resources if it is something that you feel would be of value to you, or to share them with your colleagues, family, and friends. And now is the time to tap into the support that is available and to reach out to professionals who can help you deal with the stressors and issues that many of you may be experiencing. Thanks. Thanks for posting that in the box as well. Well, if there's no other comments, then we will conclude this session. And again, I just want to say I will share these resources as well. We will post them or share them out to people in terms of healthy habits. And maybe I'll just do a brief summary again of the 6 healthy habits that we're suggesting. Take ownership of your time. Carve out the time to include positive few minutes a day at least with your family or friends that you can plan around, you can look forward to, you can anticipate. So you have that to look forward to as a break in your day and a break from the stress you're dealing with. Carve out some time for yourself to recharge. That usually means quiet time, quiet space, a reflective activity, and something to help your nervous system regulate and come down from all of the stimulating emotions you may have experienced. Control to the degree you're able to, and or eliminate any negative information, negative feedback, negative, unhelpful things that are helping around you. To the degree you can limit and place boundaries around any negativity, understand that it is not helpful to you. It is not a helpful habit. You want to surround yourself with positive people, positive information, things that are going to hold you up and help you move forward through the recovery process. Conduct yourself with a positive intent. Ask yourself what is helping you and what is hurting you in terms of your habits. And if there are small things you can change, how can you make your habits more positive? Understanding that this is a long-term process. Changing habits, the evidence says it takes 40 days. I think in many cases it takes much longer, particularly for habits that are embedded in our lives, but at a minimum 40 days. So understand and give yourself compassion that this will be a process. And if you can change one thing in a day and maintain that, that is a step in the right direction. Get moving if you are not moving. It's important energetically to move your body around to help you deal with the chemicals related to your emotions, to help you self-regulate, to help your nervous system, to help manage with stress. So if you're not moving, try to move in small, gentle ways that will be helpful to you. And finally, sleep is of paramount importance, particularly if you're dealing with very challenging situation of high stress, high anxiety, possible burnout, and a feeling overwhelmed. In those situations, most of us require more sleep to help our body deal with those circumstances. We require more sleep, quality sleep. Look at your sleep hygiene and what you were doing, and if you were set up to have a successful night's sleep. And if you are not, change some of the things to improve your sleep condition. Drink water. Hydration is a basic fundamental piece of your overall health and your ability to function. And look at your nutrition. And I'm not saying make dramatic changes to your diet, but where you can make small changes that are going to be positive to your health and will help your overall system. Thank you very much for your time. I tremendously respect the work of all those in the agriculture sector, all the professionals, individuals, and families that sacrifice to grow food for our province. I am tremendously grateful for everything that you do, And I want you to know the people of BC are behind you, and AgSafe is here to support you in your mental health and your wellness. And we all wish you tremendous positive health and success. I want to support you in getting to that place. Thank you.